couple of days ago, I did a video on all the books that I've written over the last 10, 12 years. Yesterday, I showed you Three Black Cats and read a piece out of it. And tonight, we're doing Adventures into Danger. This is actually the first in the Slick Mona books. It was actually the third one I wrote. There's a whole story behind that, but I won't go into it now. I want to read you a piece out of the book. Slick turned up one afternoon to see about talking through some options. He figured he might not mention that he'd already done some flying experience. As Slick approached the front desk, a smiling, intelligent-looking young guy gave Slick a hearty greeting. "Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you?" said the youth, smiling. "I'm thinking about learning to fly," Slick replied coyly. "Well, that is what we do here," said the youth. "Would you like to see the different cost options for the various aircraft?" continued the youth. "Or would you just like to book a trial flight for $99? "Do you have an instructor and an aircraft available now?" asked Slick. "I'd like to see how the flying school operates." The youth tapped some keys on the computer and a minute later announced, "We have an aircraft available for you now if you'd like to fly this afternoon. If it's not one of our usual training aircraft, as they're all booked up. It's one we use for advanced aerobatics. Don't let that frighten you, sir. We'll have a nice, gentle flight," concluded the youth. "We?" commented Slick, slightly confused. "Yes, we," said the youth, extending his hand. "My name is Justin, and I'll be your flying instructor for the flight." Slick felt his jaw drop and stopped it in time so he didn't upset the youngster. Slick paid Justin his fee for the flight, completed the paperwork, and signed the disclaimer. Justin then collected his things and a couple of headsets, and they set off outside to the brilliant afternoon sunshine. "I'll show you how to do a walk around," said Justin. "This is how we check to make sure that the aircraft is safe to fly." Slick followed him around. The lad had learnt the instructor patter pretty well. The walk around was okay, but there were a few things that Slick would have checked himself, but he just let Justin carry on. When they got around to the cockpit, Justin took his time explaining to Slick what all of the controls and instruments were for. Slick could feel himself getting bored, but didn't want to spoil the lad's moment. He was already planning for that later on. What seemed like an hour later, although it was probably only 20 minutes, they were airborne, straight and level at 2,000 feet. The voice was still droning on in his ears, but Slick didn't care. It was a warm afternoon. There was no doors on the aircraft, and Slick was enjoying the sensation of being airborne again. Through all the blurb that was coming through the headset, Slick suddenly picked up on, "And you can now have a go at flying an aeroplane." "I have control," said Slick slowly, as if he was trying to remember the proper commands. "Just try to keep the wings level and the nose at the same attitude on the horizon," said Justin. He moved the controls in response to slight changes in the airflow around. "Very good," said Justin. "Now let's try some turns." Slick followed Justin's instructions and maintained a perfect 30-degree bank with the nose locked onto the horizon so the altimeter didn't move. As he completed a full circle, there was a satisfying bump as the aircraft passed through its own wake. He reversed the angle of bank, and this time as they completed the circle, there were two bumps. "I don't know if you realise it," said Justin, "but you've just flown those turns so well that you actually flew through your own turbulence. Very well done. Have you done any flying before?" Slick held the stick lightly in his fingers and felt the throttle with his left hand. His head turned from side to side and seemed to mutter something. "Sorry, what was that?" asked Justin. "Are your straps tight?" asked Slick in a commanding tone. They are, yes." "Why?" The word "why" extended and became a scream as Slick flicked the nose of the aircraft up and both rolled hard left and applied full left rudder. As the aircraft inverted, Slick kept on pulling back on the stick to keep them both pressed into their seats with positive G. He centered the stick as they reached wings level inverted and pulls through the rest of the maneuver executing a perfect Immelman turn. The scream from the back seat reduced as he appeared to become level again, but Slick keeps the stick back as the aircraft is positioned vertically upwards. The sensations on Slick bodies change as the aircraft stops accelerating upwards and, for a moment, they are held in zero gravity. Just as this happens, he applies full left rudder, therefore completing an excellent stall turn. As they come vertically downwards, he pulls the aircraft out of the dive. Justin looks at the altimeter and sees they are at the altitude they were when Slick took control. Slick was about to tell Justin that he had control when he heard nature sounds in his headphones. Sighting the airfield in the distance, Slick rolled the aircraft to 45 degrees and allowed the nose to drop. At the same time, he throttled back to maintain their current speed. They would probably be 10 miles away from the airfield when the sounds from the back stopped. "I suppose you can manage to land and taxi back," came the small voice from the back seat. "I'll fly. You can do the radios," said Slick. Slick flew a nice circuit and lined up to land. He compensated for the slight crosswind and landed on the centre line, right on the runway numbers. As he stopped the aircraft, he could hear Justin going through the shutdown checks. Slick climbed out and waited for Justin to join him. "I'm sorry about that," said Slick. "I was just getting bored." "You've done a lot of flying," asked Justin. Looked like he was about to pass out. "I flunked the Air Force flight school," said Slick casually. Justin just stared at him in disbelief. "You didn't ask me if I got any flying experience before we went flying," said Slick, rather enjoying the moment. Adventures into Danger, the first of the Slick Mona adventures, on Amazon. Go search for Simon Amazing Clark or Adventures into Danger. Enjoy. You take care. Bye.